Just before I start the video today, I do have my big blue mug of coffee. I want to thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. I'm this close to 40,000, so please click on subscribe. Now let's get to the video. Hi, it's John and welcome to the channel. Saturday, November the 8th, 3:04 a.m. And just for proof, there's my watch. It's 3:04 a.m. What the hell am I doing up at 3:04 a.m. in the morning? I hope you're having a great start to your Saturday and your weekend. And as I record this, the whole country is still in bed. I went to bed last night and I read an article and it gave me some inspiration for a video today, which I thought I was going to title, Mark Carney is Insane. And then I woke up, I've been up for a while. I woke up probably around 1:30 and I started checking out on things. And I started seeing other stories from across the country over the last couple of days that show that Canada is insane and really has lost its way. The only way to describe some of these things is they're sick. Okay, so what was the story I saw last night? I don't want to linger on any one of these. Carney says it's wrong to say emissions cap is preventing major energy projects. And then there's this. Speaking at an event at the Canadian Club in Toronto, Carney also pushed back on criticism of the $78 billion deficit in his government's budget tabled Tuesday. So we're now at a point where this type of budgeting and this type of deficit is the norm. It wasn't very long ago. Do you remember when Justin Trudeau said he was going to have modest budgets of $10 billion and people were aghast? We're now at $78 billion. And how do they sell this to Canadians? Is it really going to help you? Is it making it easier for you to afford groceries? No, they sell it to you by scaring you. If we don't spend the $78 billion, then you'll have to eliminate all of the health, education, and social transfers to the provinces and territories. That's how they sell it to you. So budget deficits like this are the norm now. Over the next, 5 years, it's more than $300 billion. We move down here. Canwar, who was the person interviewing him at this club, asked Carney bluntly why the government wasn't taking more risk in its latest budget. They're wrong, Carney cut in bluntly. They're wrong because literally we're getting projects coming in. We're in discussions with the province of Alberta directly on things. Danielle Smith, don't accept anything from this guy. We want it all. We don't want the scraps that Mark Carney, the Liberals, and the East throw our way. We want it all. Call an independence referendum. Down here, when asked specifically about the office approving a new pipeline project, Carney jokingly dismissed the question as boring. Pierre Poilievre actually responded to this on X. Mark Carney says pipelines are so boring, then says they are not that important. Nothing has changed. Liberals will never let a pipeline happen. You'll need a conservative government to do that.
One of my questions was, is this pipeline going to come?
It's so boring.
It's not actually.
It is.
For,
it is.
for
No,
a
but
big
it
part
is.
of the
It is
country.
because it's. Look, it's. Don't worry. We're on it. We're on it. Like we're on it.
And
but
who's
there is
showing
this
up to
whole
that
world.
party?
Okay, hands up. Who's working on the pipeline in this room? Okay.
Isn't
Right.
that a problem?
No. Look at all the variety. Like, Nav, like, does your like it's. We have.
Yeah, if there's more prosperity, they'll get more cell phone services.
But look. Okay, so what's going to drive one of the things? Yeah, don't worry. We're on the pipeline stuff. Danielle's on line one. Don't worry, it's going to happen. But well, something's going to happen. Let's put it that way. It's not very good negotiating by my perspective. But what some in the room will unlock on the data center side, the intelligence infrastructure side, will have a much bigger impact on productivity in this country. Will have a much bigger impact on our standard of living. And advantaging that, which is what we're doing with the productivity super deduction. Like, it's an easy conversation to have about a pipeline because it's one thing we can see. But the reality is that there's much, much more to the Canadian economy, and there's much, much more to the future of the Canadian economy. And so we're attacking it on all sides.
What the hell was that?
Okay?
Isn't
Right.
that a problem?
No. Look at all the variety. Like, Nav, like, does your, like, it's, we have.
Yeah, if there's more prosperity, they'll get more cell phone services.
But look, okay, so what's going to drive one of the things with.
It's hard to understand what the guy's trying to say. It's, for the most part, a load of gibberish. Hard to understand, actually, how Pierre Poilievre can translate this. And can you see the arrogance growing in him? Day by day, the arrogance is growing. And I can still remember my mom, when I was this tall, saying how arrogant Trudeau was. That would be Trudeau Sr., and it happens to all the Liberals. This article headline is insane. The emissions cap is one of the reasons why we don't have any major energy projects, and there's no investment in this. It's absolutely insane. What else is insane is this. Canadians disappointed in Carney will still vote for him. And then here's one of the sick stories. We get sick, sicker, and sickest here, folks. The Poppy is about politics. Banning it from courtrooms is shameful. What? Judges in some provinces respect the notion of honoring the dead. Others have made it a political issue. Well, if you're a judge that thinks you shouldn't be able to wear a poppy in a courtroom, you should lose your damn job. I'm not going to read a lot about this, but I'm just going to read the first sentence here because it explains what the poppy is about. The poppy is a symbol of remembrance that's supposed to transcend political tiffs, honoring those who sacrificed their lives to ensure Canada's continued existence. Then we get this story. You probably saw this one. Saw this the other day. The entire city of Kamloops and the Sun Peaks Resort. Wild what's happening in BC right now. I've got a little bit of a different take on this in just a moment. Just a short bit of this story.
There are growing calls for clarity and transparency for British Columbians around all notices of civil claim filed against the province by First Nations claiming title. Keith.
If you live in British Columbia and you didn't vote for the current government you've got right now and your home is up in limbo right now, I have a lot of sympathy for you. But for the people who voted for David Eby and his government, tough. You get what you vote for, folks. And are you going to get the genie back in the bottle? I was talking with Keith Wilson, the lawyer. I've got him on the channel in the next couple of days. Talked to him yesterday. He said these people are screwed. And let's hope this doesn't spread. Adam Pankratz with an article in the National Post, Land Rights Confusion, a mess of David Eby's making. You got to vote these people out. But if you voted for this, tough. Then we've got this. Sick, sicker, sickest is coming in just a moment, folks. Toronto had its own Kristallnacht incident. I read this article and I couldn't believe it was happening. This is Canada. And political leaders don't care. For those of you who don't know what Kristallnacht is, Kristallnacht is the night of broken glass. When back mid-century, last century, the Germans went around and smashed a lot of Jewish businesses' windows. That's what it's about. Toronto police did make 5 arrests, but so far we've heard nothing from Mark Carney, Doug Ford, or Olivia Chow. Despite their silence, that's talking about the aforementioned politicians, what we have reported is Toronto police arrested 5 people in the break-in of a Toronto Metropolitan University student supporting Israel private off-campus event at this address on Wednesday, in which glass was smashed and people went to hospital. Police allege a group of protesters entered a private event without permission and forced entry into the building, damaging property, and entered a common area where attendees were gathered, causing those in attendance to fear for their safety, while one individual sustained injuries from broken glass. The mob was masked and broke the glass door with a drill bit and pushed through the barrier, one witness said. That mob soon after posted to Instagram, "We have dispersed. Stay tuned for a statement. Our universities refuse to hold war criminals accountable. We will hold them accountable." This is a threat. And they should round up all of these people and throw them in jail. Meanwhile, the Liberals live to see another day after a second confidence vote on the budget. This one directly tied in with the Bloc Québécois. Bloc's motion called on the House of Commons to reject the government's budget, which the party says will hurt Quebec because it fails to increase provincial health and old age security transfers for seniors aged 65 to 74 and to combat climate change. A bizarre twist of fate here, folks. The Bloc MPs supported their party's amendment, as did the NDP and Green Party leader Elizabeth May, for a total of 30 votes, but a sweeping majority of Liberals and Conservatives voted against. I mean, weird, right? Bringing the tally of MPs voting against to 307 votes. There will be another vote on this. I think it's happening on the 17th. They're taking a bit of a break because they've got Remembrance Day this week. I believe it's on Tuesday. But don't be surprised if somebody else walks across the aisle. And we've gone sick, sicker, sickest. And honestly, This is almost a metaphor. Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm using the wrong wording, but maybe it's a metaphor for what the Liberals and their supporters are doing to the rest of us in this country right now. But there's this. It just turns my stomach. It just turns my stomach. I think there's a picture of the woman who owned the farm here. I think there is. Like, look at the look on her face. Look at these people. This is Canada, folks. Let this sink in. This is sick. Good God. What have we become? I knew they were going to do it. I said it a month ago. There was no saving the ostriches. Once the government said they have to do something, they're going to let anybody get in their way. Let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a great Saturday. I might do another video today. Yesterday, I did a video. I put the Jeff Rath video up. Great interview with Jeff if you want to hear what he has to say. He doesn't hold anything back on that video about the independence movement here in Alberta. I do have Keith Wilson. I talked to him yesterday. Been wanting to talk to Keith for some time. Great insight into the independence movement. I think I'm going to put that video up on Monday or Tuesday, probably Tuesday morning, so I'll be watching for that as well. I appreciate you being here. I really do. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications. I tip my big blue mug of coffee to you. Have a great Saturday.